States are rich. You can't be sure of that. And then beyond or your state, beyond the shores of Nigeria, just latch on to our social media platform, Facebook precisely, and you are on to conversation. Once again, whatever you are listening across the world, you are welcome. My name is Tola Teriba.
Conversation is key as long as human existence is in place. Jaw is better than war. We must accept issues for us to have egalitarian society, a place we shall all be proud of. This is our country, and we shall do our best to speak truth to power so that they can be accountable to you without minding whose ox is God. Let's have captured in the national dailies in Nigeria and even issues beyond the shores of this country. It is our responsibility to do this, and we shall not abdicate on this role. I am Sheil Oyelowo, welcoming you to conversation.
Right, straight to the major headlines this morning, and major events played out across the country yesterday, talking about the NLC anti-hardship protest. It says, end hunger, hardship, protesters tell Tinubu. Now, police provide water, biscuits to protesters in Lagos. So, are we in the United States?
We are not. We are still in the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Am I dreaming, Shehu?
You are not. And it could appear so because you have been accustomed to that dark days. You know the modus operandi. Sorry, don't let me use modus operandi. You know the antecedent of the Nigerian police force, especially the men in black. They rather beat you up for protesting than provide you with relief materials or refreshment.
What did we?
The paradigm shift in terms of action of the police. Rather than form opposition, waylay the protesters, deal with them violently, arrest some of them, and be the ones to even initiate troubles.
Well, quite a number of states.
Things are fast changing. Police becoming more civil, and it's highly commendable. Majority of us, our intention is just to go out, express our grievances in a democratic way, without violence. Peaceful protest as enshrined in the Constitution is part of our inalienable rights. That's what we intend to do. It's only when they bring in their own machination and intrigues that they disrupt our peace, and in the process sometimes arrest us. So they'll be the ones to cause the katakata and blame others for it. But this time around, things are fast changing. Commendation to them.
Quite a number of states yesterday across the southwest, the south, I think some parts of the north central, the southeast. Quite a number of states where the protests were held yesterday. Well, in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde joined the protesters, and then he identified with them. Okay, Makinde addresses workers, calls for collective efforts to solve problems, and he also promised that he will be taking their message to the appropriate quarters. He also acknowledged the fact that there is hunger and hardship in the land. And another rider here, it says NLC suspends protest. Well, for me, now it would appear like the very narrative, like you said, of civil protest, protest rallies, and the right to be heard is changing in this country. Now, aside the fact that no violence or hijack by hoodlums was recorded yesterday, we did not see suspected, sponsored, heavily armed counter-protesters in unmarked government vehicles coming to the scene to clamp down and disrupt the original protest and sow disarray amongst the original protesters. We did not see a ruthless, brutal descent or clamp down on the protesters by the security agencies. And even in the run-up to the protest, even the serial utterances from the police and other security agencies was majorly advisory on the need for all to work together to ensure that the protests do not turn violent or run foul of the law. Yes, another departure from the past when the security agencies would threaten war, fire, and brimstone. So the conclusion, well, for me, is that if someone is not doing the needful yet in terms of addressing the current and very pertinent yearnings and aspirations of the people, at least that someone is listening, and that someone is leadership. I think we are getting,
And that someone is President Bola Tinubu.
well, we didn't have to.
Okay, go on.
We didn't have to break it down.
Okay.
Well, though I do accept also that more could be done, and that the end result, the final end result, is that which is key. But like I said, I think we are getting somewhere. The fact that in the past no one listened to so
No one listened. They turned the deaf ears to the plights of the people, the agitations of the people. And when issues of that crops up, or there are plans, either spontaneous or coordinated one, I mean protests, peaceful one, there is usually clamp down on the protesters. They are brutalized, and we recall the shenanigans, the brutality, the human experience that some of these protesters have been faced with in the past, and some are not even alive to tell their story. Some alive but incapacitated. It's so unfortunate, but things are changing, as you've rightly said. I recall the NSAS protest and the ugly scenario, although still debatable and shrouded in controversy. The Lekki toll gate scenario. We don't know if people were killed. Okay, the alleged mass shooting, and other ugly scenarios that we've witnessed in this country. Perhaps we have a new sheriff in town that also understands the feelings of the people, aside listening to them, sympathizes and empathizes with them, and also believes that yes, they have the constitutional right to do that, especially if there are no ill motives to that. And the best thing to do is to allow them, while you seek for their support and more time for you to reel out and effectively activate your good plans that you have for them and the nation. Preach to them that the sufferings and hardships are temporary, and like the pains that comes during gestation period, and when the actual delivery is achieved, succor, relief, and joy will come. Haven't commended Mr. President for allowing the protests to be peaceful and no crackdown and no counter protest or counter offensive, so to say. We knew what happened in parts of this country. I don't want to mention the name of that state, but in the southwestern states, one of the southwestern states, where you see harmless protesters on the streets, and the ones in Hilux vehicle, branded government vehicles, fully armed, stormed on the peaceful protesters, their counter protest. So it was disrupted. The protest was hijacked. They mobilized their own thugs and miscreants to disrupt the peace. Some will say government destroying peace of the nation. That's the phrase someone gave to that. So, for not allowing such to happen, we commend him once again. But for the police, the men in khaki, the men in black, although they actually changed or they added another color to their uniform, I want to believe that they are walking the talk, and that cliche or phrase of police is your friend is now becoming reality now with their recent behavior, providing water, giving biscuits, coordinating the protesters, and protecting them as well.
Well, that happened in Lagos State, and the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adegoke Fayoade, said the command provided water and biscuits for protesters so as to avoid anyone collapsing on the way They said that the journey was a long distance for protesters trekking, coupled with the hot weather, hence the need for at least the water and the biscuit to give the participants strength for their protest. And I'm just wondering aloud, where did the money for that biscuit?
Don't bother where the money came from.
But very kind of the CP.
Very, very kind of the CP. And I think other state commands should emulate what the CP and the Lagos command did.
And I'm also wondering, the protesters, they trusted the police enough to accept those.
When they are civil, when they are friendly, yes. You see, until they realize that they have a bigger responsibility to the people, to the masses. You see, they have this skewed mentality of, we are only existing for men in power. For those in government offices.
For the CNC, a former chief of army staff once said that their loyalty is majorly
to the CNC,
not even to Nigeria.
You see, no, it's a misconstrued one, and that should change. Yes, you could be loyal to your boss, but the ultimate loyalty should be to your nation. When your boss violates the constitution, you should tell him or her. And you are not in that position. You are not carrying the ammunition to kill, to maim, to disrupt the peace in the society, to deal with armless civilians. No, that's not your responsibility. You have to be civil. Moreover, we are suffering together. We are all in this together. You also buy from the market. You also feel the hardship. So why should those who are circumventing the process that should ordinarily give us peace, that should give us prosperity, and improve our own standards of living? Why should you be collaborators or gullibly follow their directives to hunt and deal with people who are suffering? Your own people. It's wrong. So things are changing.
But meanwhile, the NLC on Tuesday now said it has suspended its national protest following the success of its first outing. Labour explained that it had achieved almost all the objectives of the protest, adding that there is no need of continuing the protest on the slated second day. The NLC president, Comrade Joe Ajaero, and its acting general secretary, Comrade Ismail Bello, the Congress said the decision to suspend the protest was reached during its National Executive Council NEC meeting. It says NLC suspends nationwide protest, extends an ultimatum. Well, I think maybe a matter of don't stretch your luck too far. Since the government and state agencies are civil about these things, maybe kind of reciprocation on the part of Labour too. Let's see. The first day was successful, so let's see what the government will do.
Was the protest necessary in the first place? Is it within the purview or mandate of the NLC to coordinate street protests on behalf of the people or for the people? They're not really connected to their own demands from government. You've seen agreements reached, the ultimatum given, and the level of compliance to the agreement reached between them and government, about 15 points raised.
Well, if you meet the demands of Labour, you would, by extension, directly or indirectly, be meeting at least some of the demands of the general masses. But in the meantime, there were pro-Tinubu protests in Abuja yesterday. It says, meanwhile, some groups loyal to President Tinubu stormed the National Assembly complex in support of the reforms of the present administration. The protesters who converged on the Abuja Unity Fountains took a peaceful walk to the National Assembly complex, calling on the NLC to call off its action. Note, a peaceful walk, a departure from the past. Again, like you mentioned, when they would be in SUVs and Hilux vehicles believed to be owned by government, heavily armed, and they would clamp down on the original protesters.
All right, for the suspension that NLC announced, perspectives and opinion, divergent views, it differs. We shall analyze some of the envisaged conditions that led to the suspension of that strike after this commercial break.
Conductor, yàtọ̀ sí àìsàn kan sí kejì. Ikọ́ mi ìgbẹ́, ìmí ìtutù bíi ti èyí.
Mo ti sọ fún kọ̀ǹdọ́tọ̀ mi. Ikọ́ ẹ̀ tó kọ̀ tí ò kásẹ̀ lẹ̀. Ó lè jẹ́ kọ́ ife.
Kọ̀ǹdọ́tọ̀ yẹ̀ wò kó lè mọ̀ dájú nítorí pé ẹni tí kò bá lọ kò lè mọ̀.
Ẹ yẹ ikọ́ yẹn wò fún ikọ́ ife.
Tí o bá ní ikọ́ tí ó ti lé ní ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì tí ò kásẹ̀ nílẹ̀, ó lè jẹ́ ikọ́ ife o. Ọ̀fẹ́ láyẹ̀wò àti ìtọ́jú ikọ́ ife. Ìwọ ṣáà ti pe nọ́mbà ìdáhùn kíákíá orílẹ̀-èdè fún ikọ́ ife ní 3340 tàbí kí o tẹ *3340# fún àlàyé sí iwájú sí i. Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ ilé-iṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn ará ìlú Amẹ́ríkà.
Welcome back. It's still conversation. All right. The NLC has officially, they call it suspension, suspended the mass street protests and hunger and hardship protests that they coordinated. I said divergent views. Build up to that protest. All entreaties, all appeals fell on deaf ears. In fact, I understand that there was an emergency meeting between the organized labor union leadership and that the government leadership at the federal level, just for the protest to be averted. But that didn't, yielded any fruit or positive fruit on the part of the government. So we had the protest yesterday. How successful was the protest? Was there absolute compliance? Was there significant mobilization? Was there mass civilization? And how many states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, can we say the protest took place? In the southwest region, maybe 3 states, Lagos, Oyo, and one other state. I'm not sure if it occurred in Ogun.
Yes, it did in Ogun.
So, well, substantial compliance, 4 states. In the south-south, how many states? Out of the 6. Only 11. Join 1. I add 1 to it. That's 2 over 4, over 6. Go to the southeast, 5 states. In how many states was it reported that the
Imo.
only Imo? I add 1 to it. So that's 2 over 5. In the north central, where you have 6 states.
Taraba. And then there was Plateau, Kwara.
Well, was there in Kogi?
No, Kogi, I'm not sure.
Okay. What of Benue?
Benue, no.
What of Nasa? Maybe in 1 or 2. 2 over 6. Then you go to the northeast. Taraba, Adamawa, Plateau, okay.
Kaduna. It held in Kaduna.
Kaduna is in the northwest. So in the northeast, maybe 3 over 6.
And in Borno, there was a complaint by the labor union that they were not allowed to move out of their secretariat by the security agencies.
And if they were not allowed to move out, that means there was no protest. So we cannot record that state as one of the states that protest.
There was no rally.
There was no rally.
There was protest, but there was no
There
rally.
was no rally. There was no street rally. Okay. No wahala. And the northwest. In the northwest, we have about 7 or 8 local states.
Okay, it held in Kogi. I'm saying Kogi here now.
Okay. And we've added 1 to it. Well, successful, relatively successful. We discussed that.
And Kano too.
Okay.
I'm also seeing Kano.
Northwest too. Well, relatively successful. But some will say, what is the concern of the NLC in organizing rally or protest based on hunger? As a trade union organization, what concerns you mostly is what affects your members.
Are you not hungry, Shehu? Are you not a worker?
Tola, less an organization. They will tell you what happens to others shouldn't really concern you. It doesn't really concern you.
Well, let's make it brief. We have to move on to
Okay.
other headlines.
But for the organized labor unions, yes, what applies to the plights of your own people, you made that demand to government, and that is being implemented, especially the ones that could quickly be implemented. About out of the 15 points, government has implemented almost 8 or 9 or 10, which is substantial. The rest are still in the pipeline. So to the government, and when you consider the response coming from government, the strike, or the, well, not even strike now, we can call it strike underline, the protest may be unnecessary, but they also have that moral ground to sympathize with the people. Being organized labor union, they have the structure.
They are the people. We are the people. So we cannot.
So they
isolate
extend that
ourselves.
love to the people by being the ones coordinating for the people. And when you also look at the implication, it's, let's be thankful that it's peaceful, but it's capable of disrupting economic activities, and violence could erupt. And the investors that you want to appeal to come to your country, where there are protests here and there, and things are not going as usual, they may be deterred from coming. So you have to be cautious. So they should, perhaps my conclusion is that they should devote their energy and strength to something more productive rather than playing to the gallery. The right advocacy groups, the civil, what do you call them? Civil society
parties
and labor organization. No wonder the TUC declined or refused to be part of the protest.
Yeah, the NLC stole the show. Wouldn't they be feeling that they missed out on something?
There is actually hardship and hunger in the land. We cannot ignore that.
I can put so much time on that. So moving on. CBN raises interest rate to 22.75%. Begins sale of forex to BDCs. They are riders, so their mandates Bureau de Change to sell US dollars at 1,314 naira 1 kobo to a dollar. Allocates $20,000 to each. Cardoso, as the CBN governor, says $26 billion passed through Binance from unknown sources in 1 year. My team, not responsible for economic woes, we are part of the solution, he adds. Past CBN's interventions go up 10 trillion naira, and we must slay inflation dragon lest it consumes our economy, says Mogalu. I agree with you absolutely, Mr. Mogalu. And jacking up MPR by 400 basis points simply an overkill, says Uwaluke. So I guess I'm followers of the MPC meeting convened by the CBN.
Maybe the few companies in existence, they want them to go under. Maybe they don't want them to be operational again. They want it to be instead of comatose. Or they declare bankruptcy and shut down. I wonder, interest rate of 22.75%. Who does that? In a country that is yearning for investors to come, for businesses to blossom. How will that happen? When you go to the money lenders or the banks and you are to repay at 22.75 interest rate, what is even the rate of percentage of profit that you will get from that business you are starting with the borrowed funds? And for the BDC that they will be giving dollars to, I just see policy somersault from government. They seem not to know what is expected of them. The other day they clamped down on the BDC operators as if they were the ones causing the problems and causing the, at least the parallel market. The parallel market where you have the exchange rate and disturbing rates. So now you still want to give to them where you've not really regulated them. The banks, commercial banks, have been accused of freely giving monies meant for those who are in need of it. In the banks, you go to the banks, you don't get dollars, but you go to the BDCs in different areas and you see it freely there. What is not available in the bank is available at the BDC stand, and And now the CBN is also doling it out to them, $20,000 to each of them. They should continue.
But someone seems to be coming out, shedding light on, says over 100,000 workers will lose their jobs if implemented. An assurance came from the federal government yesterday that no one will be laid off. But you did a kind of analysis yesterday. You said that perhaps the agencies themselves, with time, looking at the necessities of the times, may be the ones doing the laying off, a gradual process.
Yes.
So it might not be a master, but eventually, Parliament is saying that over 100,000 workers may eventually lose their jobs.
There's a possibility of that. Let's wait and keenly watch as it end of on that.
And reps unveil plans to establish safety standards regulatory agency board.
They should discuss with Mr. President. Maybe they have a similar agency that is being planned to be scrapped or merged in a ministry. So you better consult them before you establish another one. Agency. I may not really get the proper funding.
Appeal court dismisses application of 16 Plateau PDP lawmakers to review their cases.
They see that as miscarriage of justice.
Looks like they lost.
Where they lost. That's why I said they seize it as miscarriage of justice. A law says, or a judgment says, they can't be. They were sacked. But another judgment, because the other person who was nominated as a candidate through similar process had the opportunity of approaching the Supreme Court, was cleared, and to the Supreme Court they had not committed any violation. But at the appellate court, others committed violations and they were deprived of what they should have. So miscarriage of justice. But it's also amounts to abuse of court processes. When the case has been decided and you want to have a review. No. Call off Omilo.
And in Bayelsa, it says Bayelsa Guba, Sylvia APC closed case against Diri after calling 52 witnesses. INEC, the governor, orders to open defense March 4. And some tragic ones, 3 dead as 14 passenger boat sinks in Lagos. Building collapse, claims 7 in Anambra. And still on politics, Ondo 2024, PDP may settle for consensus candidates.
No one. They can do that without
it's their party.
rancor. It's a good one, but it must be democratic.
And Senate proposes 6-year single term for CBN government. There's this capital from 100 billion to 1 trillion. 6 coordinating committee on monetary fiscal policies. And that's as President Tinubu launches expatriate employment levy. What does that mean, Shima? A mandatory contribution imposed on organizations that employ expatriate workers in Nigeria. So you have to pay to employ Chinko.
They cannot just come and take,
My apologies.
take over our jobs.
That will be derogatory. Call it
We want them to come and invest rather than come and take the existing jobs. Come and invest, bring the capital. Expatriates from different countries, yes, bring the fund, come and invest, and there should be local representation. You must give our boys their job to do. We have them in their number to reduce the unemployment rate. That's what is expected of them. And government is looking for money everywhere. So don't mind them. If they impose levy this, levy that, or anything that is in sight.
And finally from my hand, a 29-year-old man has killed his own father with a pestle in Plateau. Plateau State Police Commander arrested a 29-year-old man, Joseph Sodin Witheld, for killing his father with a pestle after a minor misunderstanding in Jos North local government area of the state. The incident occurred last Saturday at about 8 p.m. when Yakubu hit his father, a 49-year-old, saw Ed. Again, well, excuse my well, perhaps naivety in this matters, but I always say, always make sure that your son is your son, and that he was not switched at birth, because I find it
Even if
difficult to
switched at birth.
comprehend.
Even if switched at birth. If is the friend to the mother, who is the maid, the concubine, that impregnated her, and unknown to you, they brought him or her to you as the biological father. Never you mind. If you have given the right training, I don't expect either adopted or biological children to inflict hardship on their parents. Even neighbors wouldn't do that. Children we've trained in the neighborhood will not even do that. Education for you to kill any other person, not even the one you assume to be your father. Even if it's known to the child that this is not my real father, that doesn't give you the permission to terminate life. It's unlawful.
Olubaba and Nkumu.
No. You don't just terminate life like that. You don't take laws into your hands. So straight to jail. I don't see any excuse or any justification. All right. More headlines from my end. Suspicious $26 billion passed through Binance Nigeria in 1 year. That's coming from Yemi Cardoso. CBN jacks up benchmark interest rate to 22.75%. Lagos shut third mainland bridge for 24 hours. Ongoing repairs. Onedoguma Igodalo begs Shuaibu others for support. Promises inclusive government as PDP hands aim certificate of return. More crisis in Labour Party as Imasu Agbo claims victory. Abga is party to beat, says Osifo. NLC gives 17 points a month to Tinubu, suspends protest. Makinde joins protest in Oyo, says there is hunger in the land. Protest needless, says presidency, says legitimate concerns being addressed.
Well, smart one, Governor Shemakide was the only governor that joined physically
He
identified
sympathized with them,
and that
although
was
it's part of the government that they are agitating and you don't understand. But you know when you are very smart, you empathize with people and you tell them we are in it together. This is what we've been able to do so far.
and I guess
And these are the plans we have for you to cushion the effect of the hardship. Give us time. Be civil. And we are partners in progress. And that settles everything. It settles
I know. It
most
kind
of
of,
the palpitation and the expression of anger.
I know it kind of took the plunge, because perhaps the other governors also thought of that, but maybe they didn't know how they would be received. Me just thinking aloud here, maybe they didn't know what kind of reaction, what kind of welcome they would receive. So, but then that is going to be good or it's going to be bad. Governor Shebakile, like I said, took the plunge. He took the risk and well, it's turned out well.
It turned out well and it appears to be the hero now. Aliyah set up 2 panels to probe autumn's government. Ex-governor welcomes probe, promises to cooperate. Report of Coast Care fake. Act of disinformation, says the federal government. Federal government rolls out $617 million fund to boost creative economy. Current economic woes vindicate Emefiele, says stakeholders. Current economic woes vindicates Emefiele.
So that is recipe was the way to go.
The position of the stakeholders appears to be highly provocative. They missed the point. They grouped.
If we are to
Emefiele era and actions, policies were contributors to the current economic woes that we are currently bedeviled with as a nation.
and if I were to choose between the Emefiele recipe and what we are having now, we can very well guess what my
wanted to cough out life from Nigerians. In fact, Emefiele was given different names and tags, unprintable ones. Senate to federal government introduced terms to tackle food security, or food scarcity rather. Introduced terms to tackle food scarcity. CJN to judges shun unethical conduct, delay of cases in court. Reps to federal government create enabling environment for herbal medicine practitioners. Okay. Reject attempts to frustrate federal government. Fagbemi tells judges and National Assembly. Igbo communities in Southeast, South-South, and North Central vows to unite. Okay. Police now suspected killers of Umuadi PG. And on hardship, why Igbo to refrain from anti-Tinubu protests. Southeast Group. We open the phone line 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850.
Hello, good morning. Good to have you, sir.
And now, on the NLC strike, they said they are not going to continue the strike. Well, I think they should have done it today. And because they stretched it out 2 days before, maybe they have done it today, just the simple one they did yesterday and put that over. Then, on the issue, okay, I'll come back later.
Thank you, Mr. Didi.
Do well to call us back. Another headline. Tinubu's renewed hope. Now renewed hopelessness. That's coming from beginning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850. Hello and good morning to you.
Good morning, Dr. D.
Good morning.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all can see now the difference between oligarchy, system of government, and real democracy. When we talk of NSC rally and the relationship with the police, especially in the last 8 years, you can see that it is the police that will disrupt any rally, which has, in fact, radically changes with President rally that the NSC did. That means it is now an indication that it is now that we are practicing democracy in Nigeria. God bless us.
Thank you.
0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, yeah. Good morning. Jide from the last week. On an answering report, as happened in Falana, I said something yesterday. I said the answering report, information will be very good. But one thing I said was that it should be looking to like the president priority in 2021 before its implementation, because I think times have passed over some issues over there, which they need that. The full report might not be implemented. I think some committees, not the one they've been giving money, should look into some issues there. Because time has passed over some issues, which, already gone see. Something would have been due to, remove some things and add some things to it. I think that would be better, so that nobody will lose his or her job. Then some people are saying, especially the reps, they are saying food scarcity. Is it that food is scarce or it's expensive? I don't think food is scarce. I think it's expensive. So the government officials should stop changing the narrative. They should stop changing the narrative. Food is not, it's expensive. The purchasing power is not there. People cannot afford it. That's just it. So thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, I think it's both scarce and also expensive. Hello, good morning to you.
Of the man
Hello? Oh, we lost the call. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850.
Hello, good
Hello,
morning.
good morning. Good morning.
I want to draw your attention to the fact that Delta State Governor also joined the rally.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Delta State
Delta State.
Governor.
Oh, well, it's here. It was held in Delta State as well.
Okay. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Lesson, what?
Good to have you, Mr. Nwere.
The president said the protest is needless. If the protest is needless, let it end hunger, hardship. Then we know the protest is needless. I had keep on saying it to Dr. Ben. If you are the teachers, the teachers people here and there. Now they take the CDS $1 to $110. Can it be the truth? The same people here and there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nwere.
0805 500 9850.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Baba.
Good morning, Seun.
Good morning, sir.
The peace of the Lord be with both of you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And may the peace of God be with all the peace-loving Nigerians.
Amen.
Adedado from Okeo. Kudos to the protesters. Kudos to the police. Kudos to the federal government of Nigeria. Kudos to President Bola Tinubu. The protesters were genuine in their protest. They did not protest violently. The police was civil in carrying out its duty, unlike in the past when clamping down was the norm. The police provided water and biscuits for the protesters in Lagos State. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This same Nigeria, government under President Tinubu, allowed the protests to hold a real civilian president, non-military turned as civilian president. Whether in khaki or in agbada, a militarized mind will behave militarily. President Tinubu, a listening president. The events that took place yesterday showed that Nigeria can change from bad to good. We can change from corruption to righteousness. We can make it. Therefore, I want to appeal to the government again, the police and Nigerian people at large, that we should think good, speak good, and do good, and Nigeria shall be good. Let it be so, oh God, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you, Adedado from Okeo.
Yeah,
Thank you. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Canon.
Reverend Canon Babatunde on the line,
Good to have you, sir.
and I am calling from Lanlate.
Good to have you, Reverend.
I want to appreciate the governors that took part in peaceful protest. That is how it should be. They also know that people are suffering, and they need to, clamor on this issue. So I thank them for joining the protestants. But I want the federal government, the President Tinubu, should stand up and do the right thing. Because what we are doing is good. What we are protesting for is for the good of all the Nigerians. So he should do what is necessary. Let him do the needful. And not that he should not recognize this protest. That is my advice for him. Because it is good to do what is right. Reverend Canon Babatunde from Lanlate.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you. Tola, just imagine Mr. President also joining the protest in the FCT.
Ah.
I know maybe some governors joined in their states.
Well, as for the president, he has many detractors, and if some people should get wind of the fact that he is coming to join, they could very well make trouble. And he has political detractors too. So, well, if I were a security advisor, I wouldn't advise him to.
At least to address the protesters. I am your president.
Yes, it would be nice.
I understand your plight.
It would be really nice, but then those factors.
Give me time. Okay. Well, to me, joining protests, well, by my conviction, changes little or has no real, is of little effect.
Sean, if some people make any trouble on account of him being there, deliberately wanting to cause trouble, it's not very likely the president would get hurt. It is people, it's security agents who they will secure him.
Without disregard or without impugning the character of those who are chief executive officers or what do you call him, executives in different states that joined to protest. I think what is required of them is more than joining, but address the plights of the people. The next time it may not be as that peaceful. The risk is a bit too much. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you. We lost that. 0805 500 9850. 0805 500 9850. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. My comment concerning Joseph from Oyo, from Apete.
Please turn down the volume of your radio set. Looks like you are close to the radio.
Okay, well, this is my first time of calling
Okay.
this line. My question, I just want to ask, with all these protests and this what we are passing through, what did they promise us? They say the refinery will start working in December, and up till now we never see the sign of the refinery is working. Why? And the anger, the suffering is too much. The petrol is high. Some people don't want to sell. They will seal up their disease. Please, if we speak to the government to us, President Tinubu, to have mercy on Nigeria, please.
All right, thank you. We appreciate. 0805 500 9850.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This and that time again, there's a season of planting. It's not all every time telling us that the food is they have food scarcity. When the whole governors didn't plant anything in their state. And let us have it in mind that every state, like in Niger State and other states, and now banning other states, they want to buy food from that place. Let Makinde know that there's season to plant is now ready. Is now ready. Some places like Okigwa, other places that is supposed to farm rice, farm yam, the land is ready now to farm. And also, if you call the allocation, it's not purely for pay salary. But remember, farming is now ready. Let Makinde wake up now and farm, so that even your state can feed even this waste. So please let him hear this and let you farm and tell people to work. No, and they stop telling that people are increasing their price when the government is punishing the companies with hard send them the hard tax. So things is going up, discussed by government. It's not from Agbeni, but is what they bought, that's what they sold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I think the governor is acting in that direction already. maybe more effort is required. But we have different schemes and different initiatives to gear up agriculture and even bring soccer to the people. The safer scheme and others, commendable. Tola, let us go.
Yes, we have to go. Check your time. It's 7:30. Been an interesting time on conversation as usual, and we'll be back same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
To get the 17 points demand of the NLC to Tinubu, get a copy of the National Dailies today and read. Get all the points. I remain yours faithfully, Sheil Oyelowo. Next is Spot Tidbit, and Boluaji Ogumola is our guide this morning. Boluaji, good morning to you.
Morning, Boluaji.
Good morning, Sheil. Beautiful morning to you, Tola. It's midweek, and it's good that things are getting normal on the streets. The protest was like, no, things don't work that way. Things don't work the way it plays in your head. And I remember telling one of them that 5 of our players that played in that final game actually played through injuries. And a lot of people didn't even know that. And a typical example is our captain, William Troost-Ekong. He got injured in our second group game against Cote d'Ivoire. And he continued playing even up to the final, and emerged the best player of the competition. And that speaks volume of their determination and the fighting spirit in these young lads. Now, the implication is that Ekong had to undergo surgery yesterday, and he won't be able to play again this season. He had to sacrifice, I tell you, he had to sacrifice all of that for Nigeria to win the African Cup of Nations. His club are not cool with it. I mean, they're looking to sue the NFF and the player himself. But I mean, the club pays for all of these things, pay monetarily, pay for his absence as well, you understand, and they believe that he shouldn't have been allowed to play during the African competition. But that's the determination spirit that these boys, these boys played with their blood, their sweat, everything. And he wasn't the only one. Zedu Sanusi as well. He only missed a single game against South Africa. He's been injured since the group stage. He also had surgery earlier this week. Ola Aina as well. He also played through injury, especially in that final. And when he returned to his club, his coach said, "See, this boy is not ready. He needs to relax for like 2-3 weeks." Victor Osimhen also, and about 5 of them had to play through injury in that competition. Now, the message is not the fact that they had to risk their career. The message is that we have that power of Nigeria actually exists. Whatever we put our mind as Nigerians, we achieve it no matter what, no matter the circumstances. And seeing that's quite impressive, I must say.
It is very impressive, and that's Nigerian spirit. Can-do spirit is what is required of all of us as Nigerians. Spotted Bit is next, and Boluaji Ogumola is ready to deliver.
98.5 OLUYOLEFM.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning right here in the city of Ibadan. Time check at 7:35 a.m. and it's sport time right here on OLUYOLEFM 90.5 FM. The Trailblazer, the pride of the nation. Of course, you know the best in the West. Once again with all the news that you can use in the beautiful and ever exciting world of sports. Bringing the latest, the hottest, and the juiciest sport news and making the rounds this lovely morning. Well, on the show this morning, we'll talk about the MPFL Youth League going down over there in Benin City, the Samuel Bomedia Stadium, and I've got news for you as regards that on the show this morning. MPFL games, yes, will be played also today and tomorrow. With Shooting Stars play Medal Insurance tomorrow at the Lake Salami Stadium. But also on the show this morning, we'll talk about the Super Eagles players aftermath of the African Cup of Nations as William Trust Ekong had a successful knee injury yesterday in Finland, as well as Zedu Sanusi also had a successful injury yesterday as well. We also track a Nigerian goalkeeper yesterday, the one you love to call Stanley Unwabobo. Yes, Stanley Unwabali arrived South Africa yesterday to link up with his club side, that's Kaizer Chiefs, and he was indeed welcome back like a hero yesterday in South Africa. And one man wants to return to the Super Eagles force. Yes, in fact, he wants to return to the goalpost for Nigeria. His name is Maduka Okoye. He says he's 100% ready for the Super Eagles return. Do you want him back? Well, do you want him back, Nigerians? 0005 09850 is the number to share your thoughts on the show this morning. Do you want former, well, it's still a Super Eagles goalkeeper anyway, it's Maduka Okoye back with the Super Eagles? You can share your thoughts with us on the show this morning. Also on the show, we'll listen to Super Falcons head coach and the world run speaking about speaking after our game against Cameroon on Monday, talking about finishing games up front. Well, don't forget that we're live on Facebook, facebook.com/OLUYOLE 90.5 FM. Yes, you can enjoy the show anywhere you are on planet Earth. Yes, just join us on Facebook. Let's start from the home front this morning, where the MPFL, as Nigerian Premier Football League, has picked former Super Eagles players Yakubu Ayegbeni and Sheyi Olofinjana as mentors for the Youth League. Former Super Eagles handler Austin Ewavon and Patrick Pascal will also serve in mentorship role. The quartet were unveiled in a brief ceremony at the Samuel Bomedia Stadium in Benin City earlier in the week. MPFL chairman Honorable Benga Elegbele said the idea of the mentorship is to provide professional role models who would deploy their experience to nurture the young talent to stardom. Elegbele tasked the quartet to use their influence in the round of the game of football to help develop, nurture, and mentor the next generation of stars as the Youth League. He also discussed some of the challenges faced while screening some of these players to prevent age cheats. You know that there's something they call football age in Nigeria. It only happens in Nigeria, in Africa, right? Yes, and imagine under 17 competition like this, a lot of that will be experienced. Let's listen to what Elegbele had to say as regards screening players before the Youth League.
That came with players at 25, even more than 25, training to be under 17. As part of this, the first stage of this under 17 is the screening process. We have a lot of clubs that came with players at 25, even more than 25, training to be under 17. So it was a very difficult job for Barrister Paul Lede, his team in Nasarawa, the team in Enugu. The one in Parako, the one in Kaduna, and also the one. It is and then those in the kitchen. But with the exception of Remo Stars, that came with 15 under 15. When you see that, these are really under 15 actually, because they've been together. And surprisingly, they're the one that won the Southwest Zone. But getting to select the real under 17, a lot of devices were. We went to do so many things like looking for their NIN, international passport of those that have, Then birth certificate, we don't accept declaration of age. Birth certificate, because everybody can manipulate the declaration of age. Again, we know at the end of the day, I was privileged to be one of the zones, and a certain club official was complaining to me that 2 of his boys were dropped, that those guys are actually under 17. Okay, let me just talk to them. I saw one of them just ask him a question first. I was very bored. I said, look, are you telling me you're under 17? That's a big lie. It was. So you are not under 17. He said, yes, sir. How old are you? He said it's 19. I said, shall I cannot be 19? He said it's 22. I know it's more than 22. So I said, look, guy, get out of this place. You are 22, even you are claiming to be 20. It's actually more than 25 when I saw it. Yet he was claiming to be under 17. And he says, under that 16 years, it is football age. We have lots of crises on our necks to manage that screening. It was very difficult. But I give kudos to all the zonal coordinators. They were able to get the best out of this. And hopefully, like you asked me just now, in the next season, we'll probably have to look for able to deploy modern technology to determine age, aside what we just did.
Honorable Benga Legbele is the chairman of Nigerian Premier Football League. He's speaking about the ongoing MPFL Youth League and how they manage to curb age cheat. Well, away from that, let me inform you that the MPFL Youth League is meant to discover and nurture talent from the grassroots. Rangers and Plateau United will face off today at 2 p.m. While Katsina United will battle Remo Stars at 4 p.m. From the young stars, let's talk about the big boys in the MPFL as action never stops in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Today, Abia Warriors take on Kwara United at 2 p.m. Atlan FC will also take on Plateau United at 2 p.m. In Akure, Sunshine Stars will host Lobby Stars at 3 p.m. Katsina United will also take on Kano Pillars. Yes, a game that of course, has a history of rivalry, and it's been tagged high risk. So all I will be on that particular game between Katsina United and Canopla, and it will start at 3 p.m. today. Rangers take on Remo Stars, but also United will slug down with Doma United. Enyima will take on Gombe United at 4 p.m. Sporting Lagos and Aqua United at 4 p.m. And the game between Rivers United and Niger Tornadoes has been postponed due to Rivers United engagement on the continent later at the weekend. Tomorrow, Thursday, so be Shooting Stars versus Men Insurance at 4 p.m. at the Lake Salami Stadium. Well, let's move on this morning and talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, our darling national team. The highly anticipated international friendly game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and world champions Argentina has been called off. According to reports, the friendly was cut off due to the short time to process visas for Nigerian delegations. The game was earlier built to take place in China, but was moved to the United States of America following a disagreement between Argentina captain Lionel Messi and the Chinese authorities. Argentina will now take on Costa Rica instead of the Super Eagles. Argentina also have another friendly lineup against El Salvador in March. Nigeria will have to look for another opponent as they prepare for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against South Africa and Benin later on in June. And talking about Nigerian stars this morning, Super Eagles captain William Trust Ekong yesterday had a successful surgery in Finland. The PAOK of Greece defender was in Finland earlier in the week to undergo the minor surgery. The knee injury occurred during the Super Eagles' second group game against Ivory Coast. Yes, the Elephant of Ivory Coast at the last African Cup of Nations. Despite the injury, William Trust Ekong played all of Nigeria's 5 games after that and emerged a player of the tournament. And yesterday, he penned an emotional message to fans of his club after he was ruled out of the season due to that injury. Well, he put this up on his social media page, and I quote, "A Park family, as many know, I got injured during AFCON. Disappointingly, this injury has turned out to be more serious than first thought. I've always given everything and pushed myself. Every player has played with pain at some point in their career. To fight for club or country. It's part of the game. I managed to continue in the knockout stages, and I was willing to continue to do the same, and now to help Park push for the prizes in the league and Europe also. But after more assessments and consultation, it was the best decision long term to undergo surgery. Now my full focus is on getting back better than ever before. And of course, we'll have to stay on without emotional message to fans of the club. Also, Super Eagles defender Eleti Sanusi earlier in the week underwent a successful surgery in San Francisco in Porto. Professor Jose Carlos Norano supervised the surgery, according to reports coming from Portugal this morning. Sanusi got injured in FC Porto's Premier League clash 2 weeks ago. It was the left back's first game since returning from the African Cup of Nations. 26-year-old will be sidelined for around 7 to 8 months. Not a good one. Yes, aftermath of the AFCON. It's not easy at all. Well, still talking about Nigerian stars this morning. Well, Nigerian goalkeeper Stanley Nwabili has said that he is yet to receive any offer from interested clubs regarding a summer move. Nwabili has been linked with the likes of Kaizer Chiefs and Onion St. Julius following his impressive campaign at the last African Cup of Nations. The 27-year-old conceded 4 goals in 7 appearances in Côte d'Ivoire. The shortstopper was one of the reasons why the Super Eagles made it to the final of the competition. Amid reports linking him with a move away from Chippa United, Nwabali claimed that there are no offers on the table as we speak. And it was so nice seeing him return to South Africa yesterday with Chippa United. And South Africans are welcoming him with glitz and glamour. Now, one man wants to return to the sticks for Nigeria. His name is Maduka Okoye. He has stated that he is ready to stage a comeback to the national team. Okoye was part of the Super Eagles team to the 33rd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon, but missed the last edition in Ivory Coast. After a torrid time with Watford Football Club, Okoye moved to Italian side that Udinese seems to be bringing out a good fruit. Speaking to the club media, Okoye admitted how difficult it is to watch the team on television. And I quote, "I'm very well now. I'm 100% fit. The national team is an important thing for me, and I want to return as soon as possible. It is bad watching the AFCON from home, but this is football." Well, that's Okoye speaking there. Do you want Okoye back? Let's see if I can pick one or two calls before I leave the studio. 08055 009850 is the number to get across. A quick break on the show. When I return, I will talk about the Super Falcons and maybe Jose Pesero.
ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ tẹ́tí sí ìkéde yìí. À ń fi àsìkò yìí kéde ìpàdé olóṣooṣù gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì ilé akéde oríta àbàṣọ̀run BCOS pensioner. èyí ni láti fi tó gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì BCOS ilé akéde oríta àbàṣọ̀run bàdà wípé ìpàdé wa ti oṣù yìí yóò wáyé ní ọjọ́ àlàmísì ọjọ́ 29 oṣù yìí 29th of February 2024 ní ilé ẹgbẹ́ wa o, ilé tí ó wà ní ilé akéde oríta àbàṣọ̀run nìbàdàn. ìpàdé yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní déédéé agogo 11 òwúrọ̀ 11 a.m. a rọ gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ pé kí wọ́n ó má ṣe aláìwá síbi ìpàdé yìí o. àmọ́ rírì yín bẹ́ẹ̀ a ó máa retí yín o. olùkéde Alhaji T.A. Salaudeen ìyẹn alukoro ẹgbẹ́ àti ẹnjìnìà S.O. Akande J.P. alága ẹgbẹ́. ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Welcome back. Still Spotted Beat on OLUYOLEFM 98.5 FM. This day number 28 in the month of February 2024. Out of contract, Super Eagles coach Jose Pesero has revealed the reason he refused to respond to offers on his table after leading Nigeria to the finals of the last AFCON in Ivory Coast. The Portuguese tactician has received numerous offers, but nothing concrete has been achieved just yet. Speaking yesterday, Pesero confirmed that he had up to 7 offers from clubs and the national teams, but nothing has been decided. Just said in a quote, I told everyone to come back at the end of the month. What is certain is that I want to continue coaching and I need to choose wisely at this moment. I repeat, all options remain possible. I received a lot of options and a lot of contracts from national teams or clubs. I would say 5, 6 or 7 he reviewed without revealing their identities. I let them all know that I need to rest and that when my contract expires I will talk about it and start thinking about other projects and decide my future. For now I need to take a break and be calm, but I listen to the proposals and projects that are offered to me and I evaluate whether I like it or not. And of course that's Posiero, undoubtedly one of the hottest tacticians on the job right now. Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldron has assured that his team will thrive to be more efficient and clinical in converting their chances after their 1-0 narrow victory over Cameroon in Abuja on Monday. Nigeria reached the final round of the qualifying series following the aggregate 1-0 victory over Cameroon. And of course, the goal was scored by Esther Okoronkwo in the 15th minute of the game played on Monday in Abuja. Waldron, who hailed the players for their performance, especially Deborah Biodo, whom he said was fantastic in the midfield, noted that they played a bit direct due to the tactics of their opponent. While expressing full confidence in the players, he, however, decried the harsh weather conditions, saying that he prefers playing under the light since most of the players are based in Europe. Randy Waldron on Sporty Beats this morning.
In this heat in a while. Weather it's obviously hot. I mean, the players here in Nigeria are used to it, but again, most of them are playing in Europe, so they haven't played in this heat in a while. Me personally, I would always prefer a night game, but I don't control that. So, my preference is always under the lights, but whether the weather's, hot or cold. Yeah. The best way to answer it is we put what we thought were for the day the best 11 on the field for today to start this match at home. But we have confidence in every player. We had some players that didn't play minutes that are fully capable of helping us. So I think there were parts early in the game away that were a little bit difficult, and then we handled it. And then I think at the end today was difficult. So I think they both had, in both of the matches we had many opportunities to finish it off and not make it difficult at the end. So I think that's where we have to get better. I think away we had 2 breakaways and we scored 2 goals that after I watched the video, they both should have stood away. And then here today, you can go back and look at the opportunities that we had. We could have finished the game off at halftime. So we have to be more efficient and more clinical around the goal.
Finally.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's always a concern. I would be more concerned if we weren't creating those chances. If we weren't creating those chances, I would have a real concern. I think when you get into tight matches like this, you see it at every level. It's chances were created yesterday with Liverpool and Chelsea, and they weren't finished, and it ends up a 1-0 game. So,
Finally, you don't.
Super Falcons head coach Randy Waldron speaking there. Now the final fixture between Nigeria and South Africa, we understand, will now be played in April. From football, let's quickly touch on table tennis. One Nigeria table tennis coach Segun Toriola admits being nervous leading the Nigerian team to the forthcoming African Games in Ghana next month, but is counting on Haruna Quadri to maintain the country's dominance in the sport when the competition starts on the 8th of March. Toriola, who took over from Nasiru Bello last December, was without Quadri in his first major assignment at the WTT in Busan, South Korea, when Nigeria failed to record a win at the tournament. Quadri had pulled out of the tournament due to food poisoning, but has since recovered and is ready to feature at the African Games, according to his coach Segun Toriola. Says coach that Toriola says, I'm in touch with Haruna Quadri. I spoke with him and he is now okay. okay and is going to participate at the African Games. He's ready and everybody in the team is happy about it. I'm in touch with him. I spoke to him. He is taking care of himself, and so he's going to play. He's aiming for his first African Games gold medal. And of course, at the last edition of the African Games in Rabat, Morocco, Nigeria came second after winning 10 medals. That's 2 gold, 4 silver, and 4 bronze medals in table tennis events, actually. And I finished among the top 3 in the last 4 editions of the competition. In the men's singles in 2019, Olajide Omotayo won gold, Haruna Quadri won silver, while Toriola finished bronze. Toriola and Omotayo won bronze in the men's doubles event, just as Quadri and Omotayo won silver in the team event. Well, from there to athletics, where world record holder Tobiloba Amusan will miss this weekend's World Indoor Championships in Glasgow, Scotland, after she was excluded from Nigeria's from the final entry. Amusan passed on the opportunity to feature at the championship in order to intensify her preparation for the forthcoming African Games in Ghana, which holds from the 8th to 23rd of March. I mean, the African Games in Ghana will be explosive, if you ask me. Amusan had raised expectations of becoming the third Nigerian after Esebrume and Glory Alozie to win the World Athletics flagship event indoor and outdoor, after setting 2 African indoor records within days in the 60-meter hurdles this season. But the news is that she wants to focus on her preparations for the African Games, and that's why she will not be participating in the World Indoors in Glasgow this coming weekend. And of course, we expect nothing but the best from her at the African Games. Going into this weekend's competition, let me inform you that in our absence, I would have Esebrume, of course, who will be looking to win gold. And of course, we'll also have Chukwebuka Enekwechi, Edose Ibaden, and Duben Uwachuku also taking part in Glasgow this coming weekend. World from athletics, let's return to the world of football and talk European football this morning. Yesterday, in the FA Cup 5th round, Manchester City trashed Luton Town 6-2 with Erling Haaland scoring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals in a single game as Manchester City made it to the next round of the tournament. A good one for Erling Haaland. It was Norwegian's 8th hat-trick for City, and he also became the first player to score 5 goals in a game twice for a single club. Of course, unstoppable player. But one sore note for City was an injury to Jack Grealish, who was forced off late in the first half, but they are now unbeaten in 18 games and remain in pursuit a second consecutive treble. Yesterday in Spain, yesterday in the FA Cup, Leicester City defeated Bournemouth 1-0 after extra time. Also, penalties it went between Newcastle United and Blackburn Rovers. Newcastle United went through. While in Spain yesterday, Copa del Rey semi-final, Real Sociedad and Mallorca also went into head. Regulation time ended 1-1. Mallorca going through right there. Well, later today across Europe, Italian Serie A games, Sassuolo will host Napoli, while Inter Milan will take on Atlanta. In the Emirates FA Cup later today as well, Chelsea will take on Leeds United, Nottingham Forest will slug it out with Manchester United, Wolverhampton Wanderers will take on Brighton, while Liverpool will slug it out with Southampton. While in Spain later tonight, in the Copa of France, actually Copa de France later today, it will be Rouen taking on Valenciennes. Well, that's all. Time to meet me on Sports Tidbit this lovely Wednesday morning. Big thanks to the entire production crew. Bigger thanks to you and you for listening this morning. The show definitely returns tomorrow morning. Till then, do have a lovely day and stay safe.
TG the Hitmaker.
Oye, diciendo, ¿verdad? dákun mò ń sẹ̀yán ni.
fọ́wọ́ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà lọ sí à ń ṣe é sí.
Kò sí ẹ pa mọ́ra nígbà àwọn aláṣẹ wa kọ́lé ẹ̀gbẹ́ sádùúgbò.
Àmọ́ síbẹ̀ náà ọba wábi yẹ̀ ẹ́ sí ẹnìkan là á kọ̀ bàjẹ́ fún. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí aládùúgbò tó ń dòrò pa kọ̀ọ̀rọ̀ tí alárèkọjá ti ń fi ọ́ ṣèrànwọ́ ní tí ọ̀dà ni kọ̀ọ̀rọ̀ là á ṣẹ̀gbìn ara sí.
Ó mọ gbọ́ o.
Bójúmọ́ bá ti mọ́ ọ̀yẹ́ máa ń la o ọ̀yẹ́ tó la lónìí o ọ̀yẹ́ ire ni ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́ lọ́dẹ̀ẹ̀dẹ̀ yìí o ojúmọ́ aláyọ̀ lẹ́ni o ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ màlá tó ti gbé dé Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìròyìn kárí ayé màlẹ́lẹ́yìn o Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà etí inú lè jò ń lò fọ́nrán yìí tó lóko yìí Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ̀tẹ́ tí balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọ gbọ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọ̀lé FM Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Ajílété FM ẹ tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó kún kẹ́kẹ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Ẹ máa gbọ́ nínú ilé nínú mọ́tò tàbí lórí ẹ̀rọ ìléwọ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà. Abẹ́ praise ó tún ti yá ká tún jọ gbọ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn rẹ̀ o. Bójúmọ́ bá ti mọ́ ọ̀yẹ́ máa ń la o ọ̀yẹ́ tó la lónìí o ọ̀yẹ́ ire ni ẹ̀kú ojúmọ́ lọ́dẹ̀ẹ̀dẹ̀ yìí o ojúmọ́ aláyọ̀ lẹ́ni o ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ màlá tó ti gbé dé Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìròyìn kárí ayé màlẹ́lẹ́yìn o Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà etí inú lè jò ń lò fọ́nrán yìí tó lóko yìí Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ẹ̀tẹ́ tí balẹ̀ jẹ́ ká tún jọ gbọ́ Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà ìkànnì tó gbajúgbajà Olúyọ̀lé FM Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Ajílété FM ẹ tún máa gbọ́ wa lásìkò kan náà Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà Òkè Ògùn FM tó wà lálága Ẹlẹ́tì Ọ̀fẹ́ ìròyìn tó gbajúgbajà.
rẹ̀ lórí wa àdúrà mi